Welcome to JetCalculator sample version. This version is prepared for Airbus 319 aircraft. As you can see from the right menu, we do support the following types of aircraft. Let's have a look at it, how we can use JetCalculator to support you during your negotiations on the aircraft transactions. Let's have a look at it to the aircraft specification page. In this page, you can have an access to the basic information about the capability of the aircraft. And if you would like to go forward for the market outlook, then you can see that the total active aircraft, store aircraft, scrap aircraft, and written off aircraft, and you can see by the regional distribution of the existing aircraft. And more, you can have an access to the top 20 operators for these A319 aircraft by region and by the operator and by the number of aircraft. If you would like to go forward with the Word fleet, then you can have an access to any Airbus 319 aircraft depending on its region, its airline, and the other information herein. As you can see, you can have an access to 1,456 aircraft in total in worldwide. Let's go to the aircraft values page to see how we can use this special software. As you can see from the top, you see the brand new list price, which is based on 2015 values reported by Airbus. And you can choose the year of manufacture from here. The newest one is the 2015 year of manufacture, and the oldest one is 1995. If you select any year of manufacture, then the base value of the aircraft directly changes here. And from this table, you can have an access to future values of the aircraft with respect to years. If you would like to have a detailed analysis on the value of the aircraft, it should be required to be evaluated on the current technical conditions, so you can directly keep in touch with us. Let's go to cover page and to check how we can use this special software on your lease negotiations with especially for the leasing companies. You can select the year of manufacture and you can select the engine type. You can select the monthly utilization and you can select the average hour cycle ratio here. Then your total maintenance reserves and your total other maintenance costs per flight hour is directly calculated here, and you can have an access to the overall cost of maintenance, and you see the detailed analysis here and overall cost performance figure here. And by using this, you will be able to well control the maintenance reserves depending on your monthly utilization, your average flight hour per cycle ratio, and the year of manufacture, as well as the engine type of the aircraft. Let's go back to the cover page and to check how we can use this special software on your wet leases. Starting from step 1, you see that the aircraft request inputs as year of manufacture, engine type, and the total number of seats. This is already requested by the client. You can change this at any time you wish. And in step 2, you can select the wet lease or damp lease version of the related agreement. And you can select the lease period. You can select the monthly block hour guarantee level and the average hour cycle ratio here. And be careful that this is block hour cycle ratio instead of flight hour cycle ratio, unlike the one we have already selected in the lease page. You can request your ACMI rate quotation depending on the excluding or including in the ACMI rate for the crew per diem, hotel accommodation, crew rotation, and the aircraft positioning and depositioning costs. Let's go to step 3. So you can select any aircraft from your fleet incompatible with the year of manufacture that the client requests. If we select the older aircraft, then this directly gives a message to you. So let's select a younger aircraft, and if we have the aircraft and powered with the same engine that the client requests, let's select this and let's select the number of seats. And we can select whether our aircraft is leased or owned, then the depreciation value or the lease rent is directly calculated here in accordance with the year of manufacture we have. Then we can select the utilization summary based on the business inputs, and we can change the average taxi in and out time for the operations that to be utilized in accordance with this program. In step 5, you can enter your company inputs as well as enter your figures. And the blue font shows that you can select these numbers from the drop-down menus. For example, this is the number of purser in one set, and you need to select this as this become directly 0 because you have already selected damp lease here. If you select wet lease, then this figure comes to 3, 4 or 5 depending on your selection, and the cost figures for the basic salary to your crew and your inputs for the insurance of your aircraft as well as your extra cost figures here. Then in step 6 you would be able to see in summary version here the ACMI rate and the supplemental costs and the drop down figures for the calculation of the ACMI. You can see this in detail. In step 8 you can have an access to your offer based on per block hour, and you can add up your profit margin on the cost of the ACMI, and if you change this figure then your offer is directly affected, and within the lease term you can have an access to for an information for the projected revenue and the projected profit levels here. So everything is in your hands. You can create as many as you can the scenarios in this program. Let's go to cover page and to see the impacts, how we can calculate the flight costs and cost per seats. You can control many of the inputs here: the year of manufacture, owned or leased property of your asset, maximum takeoff weight variant for this aircraft, engine type. You can enter this depending on the performance of the aircraft, and this is for the load factor. You can select the load factor, and you can select the cost of the indirect operating cost percentage and you can select the other information from here. Let's see that we have a flight from Istanbul to Frankfurt. Then the flight time figure and the distance figure. You can use this website by using 400 knots for an average speed. Then all of the cost figures are calculated automatically, and you see the total cost of flight and per seat cost and cost of seat as assumed load factor, which is actually 90% of your aircraft. and you can have an access of costs by percentages in accordance with the subject of the related cost here. Again, you can create as many as you like for various scenarios. So if you would like to order this JetCalculator, this is only at 500 US dollar by the end of this month, and you can have an order of any aircraft type listed here. Thank you for listening. Bye.